It's a pleasure to have you join me on this virtual journey. Welcome. Hello and a warm welcome to our channel. Today, we're delving into Hamilton Academical F.C. Hamilton Academical Football Club, often known as Hamilton Accies or the Accies, is a Scottish football club from Hamilton, South Lanarkshire, who currently compete in the They were established in 1874 from the school football team at Hamilton Academy and remain the only professional club in British football to have originated from a school team. Hamilton have won the Scottish Challenge Cup 3 times and have finished runners-up in the Scottish Cup twice. The club play their home games at New Douglas Park. In this chapter, we'll be shedding light on club history and its role in shaping our understanding. Hamilton Academical F.C. was formed in late 1874 by the rector and pupils of Hamilton Academy. The club soon became members of the Scottish Football Association and initially began competing in the Scottish Cup and Qualifying Cup before joining the Scottish Football League in November 1897 following the resignation of Renton. Throughout its history, the club has only reached 2 Scottish Cup finals. The first, in 1911, resulted in a goalless draw against Celtic at Ibrox Park. The replay, again held at Ibrox, attracted a crowd of 45,000 spectators and ended in a defeat for Hamilton Academical. Their next chance at major silverware was the 1935 Scottish Cup final. Despite a Bertie Harrison goal, the club's only in a final of a major competition, Rangers went on to win the match in front of over 87,000 spectators by 2 Jimmy Smith goals. In the Ers, Hamilton briefly resigned from the league due to mounting debts. In 1994, the club sold its home ground, Douglas Park, to Sainsbury's supermarket, and subsequently ground shared in Coatbridge and Glasgow for 7 years. During this period, the club went through financial hardships and unpaid players went on strike. As a result, Hamilton was unable to fulfill one fixture during the season and were docked 15 points, the result of which was relegation to the 3rd Division. The club moved into its new Douglas Park Stadium in 2001. In 2008, for the first time in 20 years, Accies gained promotion to the top division of Scottish football, the Scottish Premier League. In the season, a victory against Kilmarnock on 17 April 2010 secured a 3rd straight season in Scotland's top flight with 4 games remaining. The Accies' stay in the SPL ended in the season, when they were relegated after a defeat away to Street Johnstone. Despite their relegation, Hamilton's time in the top flight was most notable for their emphasis on youth, including midfielders James McCarthy and James MacArthur, both of whom went on to play for English club Wigan Athletic in the Premier League before gaining international recognition. In this segment, we'll be unravelling the complexities of return to the Premiership and exploring its multifaceted nature. After a hard-fought campaign during the Scottish Championship season, Accies finished in 2nd position on the final day of the season following a home victory over Morton. Despite the disappointment of missing out on automatic promotion to Dundee, they went on to defeat Falkirk on aggregate in the first stage of their Premiership play-off to face top-flight Hibernian over 2 legs for a place in the Scottish Premiership. Hamilton lost the first leg at New Douglas Park, but 2 away goals in the return leg at Easter Road, including an injury-time strike, forced the tie to extra time and penalty kicks. Hamilton converted all of their spot kicks and gained promotion back to the top flight. Manager Alex Neil left the club in January 2015 to take up a position at English club Norwich. Hamilton found themselves in another playoff at the end of this time as the Premiership incumbents. A close tie against Championship representatives Dundee United ended in an aggregate victory, with Accies youth graduate Greg Docherty scoring the only goal. With our curiosity piqued, let's embark on a dedicated exploration of 2017 fraud incident and its fascinating intricacies. In October 2017, an elaborate voice phishing fraud was perpetrated on Hamilton Academical. Posing as a fraud investigator for the club's bank Royal Bank of Scotland, the The culprit convinced the club's account handler that funds were at risk from corruption within the company and should be moved temporarily, providing instructions to evade suspicion in the bank's genuine checks when monies began to be transferred. The account handler also spoke to an accomplice via a telephone number provided by the main culprit to confirm the legitimacy of the instructions. With the employee sufficiently deceived, a total of close to £1 million was transferred out of the club's accounts over several transactions, with the fraud being discovered the following day. The incident involved most of the club's working funds, causing the abandonment of a project to improve the youth academy. In February 2018, having only been able to recover a small percentage of their funds, Hamilton publicly declared that they were preparing to take legal action against the bank for a portion of the loss, believing the bank's security measures to have been inadequate in detecting the fraud due to the unusual pattern of the transactions and the large sums involved. RBS rebutted this but stated they were working with the club and the police to identify those responsible. The Accies chief executive Colin McGowan later described RBS as morally bankrupt after he was informed during discussions to prevent future losses that the bank's system did not allow customers to set daily transfer limits. As we progress, let's shine a spotlight on decline and examine its intricate interplay within our topic. After spending 7 years in the Scottish Premiership, Hamilton were eventually relegated, finishing 12th in the Scottish Premiership in the season, meaning the club returned to the Scottish Championship. Following their return to the Scottish Championship, Hamilton continued to struggle on the pitch and once again found themselves battling relegation. However, they managed to avoid back-to-back relegations with 2 games to spare after a win away to Greenock Morton ensured safety. Accies eventually finished 6th on their return to the Scottish Championship. The season was once again a difficult one for Hamilton, as they again found themselves in a relegation battle. They managed to avoid automatic relegation, entering the relegation playoffs. Despite winning the 2023 Scottish Challenge Cup final, the winning goal scored in the 30th minute by Regan Tumulty, the club eventually lost in the Championship play-off final on penalties to Adrionians, which confirmed the club's relegation to Scottish League One. This meant that Hamilton had been relegated twice in the space of 3 seasons, falling from the Scottish Premiership in 2021 to League One by 2023. Hamilton were promoted back to the Scottish Championship after defeating Inverness Caledonian Thistle on aggregate in the play-off final. Let's transition to stadium and uncover its significance. The club play their fixtures at New Douglas Park, which was opened in 2001. The pitch is an artificial surface. The stadium has an overall capacity of 6,018 and is composed of 2 permanent and 1 temporary stand. The ground replaced Douglas Park, which was the home of Hamilton from 1888 to 1994. The ground was opened on 30 May 1888 with a match against Glasgow University. It was eventually sold to supermarket chain Sainsbury's in 1994, with the proceeds going towards the construction of the new stadium, which lies adjacent to the site of Douglas Park. Between 1994 and 2001 the club had no home. They grounds shared at Clifton Hill and Firhill Stadium. Since 2021 the club have been sharing New Douglas Park with Clyde. Welcome to the next segment, where we explore honours and its significance in our journey. Scottish First Division. Winners. Runners-up, Second Tier Scottish Second Division. Winners. Runners-up, Second Tier, Third Tier Scottish Third Division. Winners, Scottish Cup. Runners-up, Scottish Challenge Cup. Winners. Runners-up. As we progress, let's zoom in on match records and examine its role in shaping our overall narrative. Record victory versus Cowdenbeath October 1932 and versus Morton May 2014. The spotlight now falls on transfer records as we delve deeper into its details. Biggest transfer purchase, to and from Sigma Olomouc July 2009, £180,000 sterling. Biggest transfer sale, James McCarthy to Wigan Athletic July 2009, £1,200,000. Let's now turn our attention to captains and examine its role within a larger context. The following is a list of the officially appointed captains of the Hamilton Academical first team. Remember to follow me on social media for behind-the-scenes content and updates.